Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mike's Positively Technical World Video Reviews. Today we're going to be having a look at the Worx wx820. It is the Sandeck. It's a 5-in-1 sander. It's basically every single sanding machine you ever need, and we're going to take a look at it and see what it can do. Yeah, without further ado, there's really not a lot more to it. Let's just jump in and have a look. So, the mighty Sandeck. I've been waiting for quite a while to do this one, but good things come to those who wait. Inside, we find a lot of stuff, so this is going to take quite a while. These are what I've put myself, but inside here you've got all your literature, which I'm not going to go through too much because it's a sander, and I'm going to tell you more than what you need to know than what the book will. Inside, you've got 3 of the Beaver tail pads. You have 3 of the rotating random oscillating pads. You have 3 obviously these are all different grades. 3 of the curved detail pads. You also have 3 of the standard oblong mouse-shaped pads, and 3 of the 1/3 sheets pads as well. Now, that's all those done and out of the way. You've also got some literature, which is the usual look up. Here's what you could have else won. And here's all the other wonderful products that Worx make. Oh, look at them. There are links here, 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 and here for all those. No, just look at my videos. Obviously, the Worx warranty covers 3 years for DIY and 1 year for trade. This is a contact information depending on which country you're in. Obviously, England's the one that we're in. There's actually this particular one's come from actually Sandeck in Germany, so that's where the address alludes to on there. And it's got all the other countries which are where Worx hang out of. Very cool. This has obviously got the Worx wA820 charger, which is that. It's 3860 charger. It's, I think, one of the better ones that our Worx make. I just like the look of it. There's nothing more to it. It doesn't perform any better than the other ones. I just like the look of it. All right, it's aesthetically pleasing. It's not as compact as the others. I just like it. It's cool. That's the operating manual for the charger. I'm sure you know how to use a charger. Plug it in, insert battery. Flashing lights mean stuff. I've got another video on that. Let's not dwell on that too hard. And here is the Sandeck. So it's going to teach you lots about safety. Mainly it's going to be about breathing apparatus and dust extraction more than anything. Wear eye protection, of course. Those are the different heads, so I'll show you how to put those on myself. Obviously what to do, what not to do. Again, I'm going to run through that myself, so I'm not really going to look at this too much. Though I probably should at some point. It'll come back to bite me, I'm sure. Especially this B2 bit. I'm going to call that out now because I ain't got a Scooby-Doo what it's for, and none of the pictures actually tell you. I think you might know what it's for. Put it like that. Obviously how to insert the battery, how to turn it on and off, how to increase the speed because it is variable speed as well, and how to shake out the dust collector because it also has 2 dust collecting pieces as well. It's the paper punch. I didn't think it would be, but yes. So this is obviously how to use it. It's covered very, very roughly in here. Obviously you've got your included different bits and pieces that you're going to be including in the box, but I'll run through those for you as well. And your sounding rates are from 180 to 400. It also actually gives you a good speed guide. I mean, that could be worth actually typing out yourself and then laminating in your workshop. Depends on obviously how much or what you're trying to sand down. Depends on which grit or finish you want to do that task with. That's quite handy. And yeah, that's it. It doesn't really tell you what else, if I'm honest. The machine weighs 2 kilos with a battery and 1.5 kilos without. It's not too bad on the loudness. It's 88.6 decibels with plus or minus 3 decibels. And a weighted sound pressure 77.6 decibels. the no load speeds from 4,000 to 10,000 RPM, and the random, obviously, orbital diameter is a 2.5 millimeters with a shake basically of 2.5 millimeters, greatest shake movement area. Right, let's have a look at stuff in the box, because we don't really want to have a look at the stuff inside. You're going to want to have a look at this. This is obviously the mouse pad. These are interchangeable, these next three, which I'm about to show you. You've got the square third sheet finish. You've also got the round orbital random finish. And you also have this, which is a paper punch. This is very, very good. If you've got generic third sheets and you want to put the correct holes in it for doing the dust extraction, you simply place the sheet on there where you want it to, and then go ka-dunk, and it will punch the holes out for you. And that's what that's for. And not a lot of people know that and won't tell you that either, so there you go. I have. This is the dust extractor. It also features a very, very cool adapter in the back here. You can also download your own 3D printed ones off of Thingiverse. If you want to go down that route, by all means. Then you also have these adapters which screw into the holes in the front of the mouse pad. I'll go through those with you in a second. First of all, we need something to sand. And the quite obvious thing that we need to sand is actually right in front of us, my worktop. It was once a very glorious colour and finish, and then I've worked on it, and then it didn't have such much a glorious finish to it. So I think what we're going to do is have a bit of a showdown, if you like. Obviously I can't do the chamfered edges on here, but I can do the third sheet, the random sanding piece, the mouse, and the detailer. I can use all four of those on this, and then the curved piece. I'm going to have to show you on a bit of 3x2 or equivalent, or something I've got that's got a sharp edge finish to it, and I'll try and round that down for using some coarser grit stuff. We're going to put that to one side for now. Let's crack open the third sheets, which are these ones. You have the three grits. It's P60, P80, P120. Obviously, if you want other larger ones, then obviously you can get these. You can even get these blank because you've got the punch out for it. So without further ado, let's just get on with it. Let's take our P60. Get rid of the P80 and the P120 for now. And what you're going to do is just stick it on there. Hopefully you're going to get it a little bit more central than what I did. You're not trying to act to the camera. Make sure that the camera's got a good angle. It's a lot easier. But there we go. Obviously the kit comes with a 2 amp battery. It doesn't come with this specific one with the indicator. It actually comes with a indicatorless one, which is the Worx wA3551.1, and this is a standard 3551. So I might clear that up, but I'll be using this one. There's no difference between the two actually. Do you know what? Otherwise people claim that I'm being unfair. Let's use the wA3551.1. There is no difference apart from one's got an indicator, by the way. And obviously it's got a variable speed on it. The variable speed we're going to be using is speed 1 for starters, because we're using a very, very coarse grit. So the on-off switch is on the top here, and the speed control is on the side. You also have the hyperlock function, which we'll do when I'll show you when we switch over. But yeah, on speed 1, I don't think it's too bad. Let's give it a quick brush off. It's fine, it's quite rough and ready, if you like, still. But it has started to bring away some stains and stuff that I've got on here. So we're just going to move up to the P80, which is a slightly finer grit. Okay, there's the P80. And I suppose I better quickly do the P120 as well. With the obligatory. Yeah, we're starting to get quite a nice lighter finish there. Okay, so that was the last of the sanding with the third sheet sander. Right the way down to the fine stuff, and you can see it's subjective to me. Of course, you can't do that in the video, but that's quite a nice finish actually. I quite like that. It takes a bit of effort to do the whole table, but anyway. So the hyperlock. So the next one we're going to do is the random circular piece. So to use the hyperlock system, which is very nicely detailed on the bottom here in the Sandeck, we're going to first release it. We release it by pushing this button at the back here. This lever then pops up. And what we're going to do is, using the standard lefty loosey tighty righty, we're going to go anti-clockwise direction, or to the left, and we're going to go undo. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 revolutions. We'll completely free it. Then we're going to separate the Sandeck from the base. I'm going to put it to one side. I'm going to take the new deck, and you will find that the two flat ones have got a direction arrow, but this one, which is the round circular one, you see the direction arrow on the mouse pad and on the flat decks as well. There and there. I will obviously go through the third sheet sanding with the bare piece in a second as well. We'll just do the standard pieces that are included first. This has basically got a bearing in the middle, that then offsets itself, and that is what makes the vibration vibrate when it goes round. It locks into here using the centre piece as a guide. I'm just going to give it a quick dusting off. Try and keep your tools and that clean at all times, so that might cause a bit of an interference around the seal. I'm just going to insert it here until it seats home, and then I'm going to rotate this in a clockwise direction 7 times. When it locks in, I'm going to give it a little oomph, pull the lever back. That will then free the clutch mechanism, allow it to spin round, lock it back in place, and you're ready to go. I'm going to take the circular pads, which I've already opened and used, a couple. See what it's like, you know. I'll try these things out. You get P60, a P80, and a P120 as well, which is the same as you got before. So in theory, this should be the same. We're going to keep it on speed 1 as well, and we're going to start off with P60. I'm just going to take the freely rotating spinning disc. I'm just going to line up 2 of the holes to the left there, and then all the rest of them should fall in place like a pretty little flower. How cute. I'm just going to keep it on speed 1 so it's comparative. Very nice finish. Move down the grits, you notice it's almost completely clear with the random sander. So the next one's going to be the P80. Again, just line up any 2 I'll go with these two across here. And the rest should, it says, nearly fall into place. As long as you've got it straight. There you go. That's the vent and the dust collection holes sorted. I know it's subjective, but it does seem like there's less dust being created with this. Maybe that's because it's dusting. Maybe that's because it's sanding less. Or maybe because it's more effective. I'm not sure. Let's go for the final one of 120 grit. I'm still keeping it at speed 1 for now. Well, I haven't quite done this as long as I did some of the others, but comparatively, you can see here, this is the side which I done the random orbital, and this is the side that I done the third sheet. And there's hopefully you can see on the camera there's quite a defined line down the middle. I try to keep that way, but might show it, might not. Yeah. Subjectively, if I'm honest, I feel the third sheet was slightly smoother. However, the random orbiter has done a larger area because of the way it vibrates. So I think it's performing a little bit lesser. Yeah, definitely less smooth, even from the same grit, supposedly. Less smooth from the random orbital. But yeah, it's overall it's very, very good. It's definitely a rougher section across the middle, which is what we like to see, and it's polishing my fingertips quite nicely. So the next one, or the final one that we're going to be testing on the flat surfaces, technically penultimate, because we are going to do the beaver tail as well. However, we're just going to do that on a small surface area. We're going to come over this side. I might just move the camera over slightly. Switch again. So we open up. Let you see. It's like do that. You'll see the arrow there, and the arrow there has to line up. And obviously, make sure you have the spigot in the centre lined up into there. Make sure the 4 feet as well are lined up around the outside when inserting that. Wind it back down, still tight, a little bit extra, and then we need to select one of the standard ones. Now, I've got loads of these. I bought a multi-pack from Amazon. Other retailers obviously are available. If I find the right ones again, there are loads of different ones with loads of different hole options. I will try and put links at the bottom as I find them and come across them. You've got P60, 180 and 120. It's really, really simple with this because it's a single shape. Bang. You've got your holes that line up. And yeah, let's get on with another line down here. It's probably quite a narrow line just because of the design of this. And we're still going on speed 1 as well. There's no bias on anything. I'm actually quite happy with that. That's alarmingly good. It's the most traditional shape that we got here. It's being featured. Let's be honest, it was originally the Black & Decker mouse was the original and it's been evolved, I think is the best way to put it, by Worx. Their evolution is pretty good, I'm not going to lie. And then we're going to do the final wx820. Okay. Sorry, I haven't been dusting in between each one. I do apologise. Well, I think you got quite a clear linemanship, I suppose you could call it. With the first line over here, that one's the plain third sheet, the random sheet, and then the mouse sheet. And get the grit out of the way. We're just using speed 1. They're all quite similar. I will just still say that the third sheet was probably the best. Let's be honest, it is a flat surface. That's what it's designed for. It also had the largest sanding area by brightness, I suppose, as well. So that maybe give it an edge. I'm not sure. I'm not a sanding expert, but I hope this visually represents how good it can become. I will just quickly post-editly stop. There it is. The Beaver tail attachment is quite simple. All it does is just screws in place. There's a screw that's sort of self-held, if you like, in the head. Screw it in place. Then the beaver tail's in place. You then take your sanding strips for the beaver tail. This is a smaller sanding surface. We're just going to do this small area around here, I think. And obviously we've got our 3 sanding pieces. It's 120, that's the finest, the 60, and the 80. So I'm going to try and keep those just there. Little 60. So try and pick up like a pro. It really didn't work. It's worth noting that these are actually slightly smaller than the beaver tail itself. You may want to cut your own, or obviously make sure you get ones that are long enough. The size of the beaver tail itself, for your future reference, so you don't have to go to the zeros. The measurements of the beaver tail are width 29.2, which might as well round up to 30, and the length of the beaver tail itself, the sanding area, is approximately 83, which probably more looking at 84 and a half, maybe 85. Depends on what your Google search, Amazon or whatever you're going to use, searches up. Those are the measurements that I've got for you there. So let's just go through the grades again. I'm just going to use a small area here this time. Beaver tail, I'm just going to stop it there because the beaver tail has been taking off an awful lot more material than the previous ones. Certainly, there's almost an equivalent amount over the area I was doing. You can see there, it's actually quite rough still. Again, subjectively, I'm telling you what I can feel. And we'll go with the 80 grit this time. This is a small area concentrated. Yeah, the Beaver tail actually, I would say, probably wins out of all three of those. Like I said, I think it's a bit subjective just because it's doing it all in a smaller area. I don't really think there's anything actually to it. I think sandpaper is sandpaper, and I don't think really you can change it that much, if I'm honest. Let's go back to the flat 1/3 sheet. I better just go through, and I don't think I've actually got, rather than using sheets, you can always buy it on a roll. That's what I like doing. Buy it on a roll, you can just get a bit, make a little nick in it, makes it a little bit easier to tear over your edge, and then all you do, this is a lot wider than the previous piece, you put your, so frugal as well, so well designed, very typical Worx. Normally they waste an awful lot with these clamps, but this is very, very frugal on the old clamp. So put it in your clamp, and you're going to want to clamp down your clamp. Put your clamp holder in there. It looks like I'm going to need to cut this to get it to fit. Bear with me, I'm just going to go get some scissors. Probably more like a guide how not to do it, but there you go. You try and get it tucked in as best as you can. And then they have a very offset wonky pad, and then you can just get your hole popper. And because this is aluminium oxide, I have a funny feeling this probably isn't going to work as well as what I'd hoped it will, but you try and seat that in there, push down on it, and you have 4 vaguely dust holes, which you can then either try and further punch out, but at least it did work as it says on the tin. You got your holes for your dust. Quickly switch back over. And then you're good to go again. I suppose better find another piece. We'll use a piece just north of where I've just been. Safety cap on and your scissors. downwards and upwards with it. Okay. Now we've finished with the actual sanding bit, just remove this from there. See, onto the other side. Obviously the multiple speeds on it, that's 4,000 revolutions or vibrations per minute, and it does go up to the full beans are number 6, which is 10,000 revolutions or vibrations per minute. And included is the dust collector, which, as you can see, works extremely well. Never ever doubt that. But that was almost full from doing this small area, which I'm sure you'll agree. Yes, I did just power share. Yeah, you'll agree is quite a fair amount. But let's just get the Hoover, put a little snout on it. Like the jet engine. That obviously is a very, very cool way of doing it. But like I said, you can get cooler because it does come with this, which does actually feature this cool insert. The insert's there, so you can actually attach it to the Worx wx820, and then that goes in the back. It's upside down, of course it would be. This is YouTube world, and the world of YouTube doesn't ever work in your favour. Then take your battery, put it back in there. I'll then need another battery because, of course, I need one for the Hoover and one for the tool. And then we can go put a sanding pad on it, I suppose. Somewhere in the middle of the road. Put an 80 grit on it. And then, when you turn the Hoover on, the suction comes out the hose. Silence is golden. That is also pretty cool, but I'm hearing what you're saying. I can hear you screaming down the screen to me. Mike, what happens if I happen to own one of these, a dust extractor, and I want to use that on my sander? Well, don't worry, Worx have got you covered. Because using an adapter like this, yes, this is starting to look ridiculous, okay, I'm not going to lie, but using an adapter like this, you can then take your dust extractor, turn it on, connect it up, which of course is actually completely pointless because the size dust particles that come out of here are actually so small that they're not small enough to be absorbed or taken out by my dust extractor. My dust extractor actually stops at 3 parts per million, and the dust particles that come out here that you can see around here, they're about 1 part per million. Therefore, although it does work, unless you've got a filter that does 1 part per million or sub 1 part per million, you're not going to get any benefit from using it for that. But the Hoover idea, the Worx Hoover, and the fact being so portable, that is a fantastic idea. And yeah, I really support that personally myself. It's a brilliant, fantastic combination of products. It's the fact being they've actually used the same size hose as the wx831 has got on the for the wx860. So yeah, for me it's yeah, it's really cool. Oh, we need to do the little curvy bit as well, don't we? Let's not forget about that. And for that, I need a bit of wood. Would you believe it? I do have some. It's a block of wood, admittedly. It's quite a big block of wood, actually. This is actually balsa. This is hard balsa. Seasoned balsa. Balsa, as you know, is actually hardwood. Everyone knows it's hardwood. I'm sure you do as well. It's a hardwood, and it's a chopping big piece of hardwood. I wasn't really sure what to do with it, so I'm actually going to make a table out of it. And I need to square off the edges. A router would probably be the most useful thing and would be my normal go-to tool, but let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's let's reinvent the wheel. Let's take the Sandeck off. Let's put the mouse profile on. We'll need to change the end of the mouse profile. I'm serious. Let's run these because you design this right now. Take this from this one. I see around this first. It's always up. So you can access right now. Yeah, like that. I'm sure you understand what I'm doing. I need to take the final of the 5 sanding pieces. They're in the right order this time. Whee! Then place that in the middle. Do this up nice and tight. I'll put the little bag back on, just so I don't have to put up with the noisy Hoover in the background as well. That's not good. Okay. Let's go back on the one and let's see what we can cut it. Well, I know this isn't the best camera angle in the world for you guys, but I think that's quite nice. It's a nice finish on that. And that's only with the coarsest P60. So let's go for a P80. more and more beautiful every time I touch it. And then let's use the final 120 grit and see what the finish is. That's nice. I like it. So yeah, interesting take. I mean, don't get me wrong, a router would probably do it a lot quicker. You can't sometimes beat the good old-fashioned sanded finish, especially on the end grain. Obviously, if you've got an end grain, it might potentially split the end grain or tear it. Using a sanding device like that, very nice. It is very nice, I will say. Again, subjective. Obviously, you can't feel what I can feel, but I'll gladly run my fingers across the back like that, and that is silky smooth. Obviously, bolsters are very, very tight grit, tight grain wood, especially in its hardwood format like this. It's nice. So yeah, there we have it. What do I think about it? I suppose we want to do a wrap up. I think he's extreme. So guys, to summarise and wrap up the Worx wx820, wow, it's certainly an interesting machine. I suppose it's like every single sanding machine you could ever want, all wrapped into one. It's got the mouse pad, which is obviously traditional mouse design. I think I'm actually right in saying that Worx made that when they OEM'd for Black & Decker, actually, back in the day, on the Positech brand. Obviously, you've got the random orbital sander as well as the third sheet, and it's very, very cool. Possibly even unique, actually, because I know what Worx are like with these sort of things. Edge sanding piece, and the usual beaver tail as well, which is obviously with the detail sander as well that they make. I can't remember the item number off the top of my head, but that's on another video which I've covered as well. I do really like it. It's very ergonomic. It's also quite low on vibration as well for the hand. The variable speed factor on it as well is extremely good. Obviously, you can always go tearing health lever, but I like to also see what they can do on lower speeds. Lower speeds is a lot more controlled, especially when you're using a sander. I like the variable dust collection functions that it's got on it as well. The fact being it's also got the adapter to link up to the wx820 Hoover. That's a real nice touch. Yeah, just everything's really, really cool about it. I love it. It's very universal, and it's also got lots and lots of gadget factor kudos to it as well, and you can't take that away from it. It's really nice. It's well balanced as well. The hyperlock system as well. It just works. It's extremely good. Obviously, the switch is unlike the switch on the other sander, which is obviously covered by a rubber grommet, and you can't really feel it or see it. This is just a very switch on, switch off. It's very, very well made, very well thought about. It's well balanced in the hand. Obviously, you can see there, that is the balance point. It's right smack bang in the middle where you want it. It's just, I know, it's almost, I don't use this word very often, it's almost perfect. There you go, it's a perfect sander. There you go. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not festal. It's not, spend a year's wages on one sander and it comes complete with a Hoover and it's brilliant and fantastic. But it will do. If you're on a slightly lesser budget, this really is a king of the hill item. I love it. And yeah, there we go. I haven't really got anything else more to say about it. Link's going to be in the description, so if you want one, you can get your hands on it. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.